morning, everyone. It's good to be together. Welcome to our friends from EEU and the DJC, and of course, all our friends from Neighborhood. My name is Susanne. I'm the music director here, and I have our announcements for the coming week. What you heard Steve on guitar and myself playing to open our service this morning was Ilufinu. The text comes from a Jewish prayer, and music was written by our guest, Rabbi Miriam Margles, who's here with us today. I thought I would read you the full prayer because I think it's a beautiful way to come together and start our service. Could song fill our mouth as water fills the sea, and could joy flood our tongue like countless waves? Could our lips utter praise as limitless as the sky, and could our eyes match the splendor of the sun? Could we soar with arms like an eagle's wings and run with gentle grace as the swiftest deer? Never could we fully state our gratitude for 1/10,000th of the lasting love that is your precious blessing, dearest God, granted to our ancestors and to us. Registration ends May 31st for Wayne's last mindful journey going to Tuscany with Worldwide Quest. That journey is happening October 9th to 18th of this year. You're welcome to talk to Rev Wayne after service for more information. Tribute evening for Rev Wayne is happening this Saturday. Details have been sent out via email for the special retirement celebration from 7 to 10 here in this space. Please RSVP as soon as possible if you plan on attending to office@nuuc.ca. Still looking for a Sunday service planning coordinator. This volunteer position identifies and approaches appropriate speakers to deliver Sunday service messages on the occasion when the minister is away. You can talk to Peter if you have this skill and are willing to help out. Gathering Sparks is coming here to Neighborhood. This is a fundraising opportunity for our congregation to invite Eve Goldberg and Jane Lewis to do a concert Saturday, June 4th at 7:30 here in this space. Tickets are on sale now. You can buy them through Eventbrite. The info is sent in our weekly email. Our C Committee, the Social and Environmental Action Committee, and the DMC are doing outreach work this summer, and you can get involved. Volunteers are needed to provide water when it is hot for unhoused low-income people in our community. We need a few people to take turns just setting out the water outside our building each morning. If you could speak to Nancy or Laura, who are both here today, to volunteer, we'd appreciate it. This week's question to the community. Can you tell us about an insight that you've had, a tiny enlightenment? Ponder this. We hope you'll be willing to share your reflections when the time comes. And next Sunday, our theme is, and then it's over. Service weaver will be David Renzetti. Our speaker will be Reverend Wayne Walder, his last service with us, and music provided by our own Spirit Choir.
Good morning. We welcome you to our Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Congregation service. Thank you for joining us either in our sanctuary or from home through Zoom. My name is Peter Mermrick. I'll be your service weaver again this morning from 310 Danforth, the home of the Danforth Multi-Faith Commons. This service is being recorded for the public, both on YouTube and on our own website, If you are here in the sanctuary and you'd rather not be seen on screen, you can move to the back of the central area where the camera won't pick you out. If you're at home at Zoom, you can turn off your camera so you can't be seen and change your name. Having said all that, we hope you won't do that. Part of being part of a service, part of a community, is standing up and being present. To the best of my knowledge, there have been no great religions created where everyone was anonymous. Now we have nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. So let us bring our hearts, minds, and spirits together as one as we give greeting and gratitude for being with each other. This is our threshold moment. Let's enter sacred space together. Our service begins now. I would ask Nancy Vanderplatz to come up and light our chalice for us. And join in the singing of our choir. Our prelude today will be introduced by Zee, who is with us virtually. Zee?
Hi. Our prelude today is coming in the form of a video, one that families from each of our 3 congregations worked together to make for the end of last year. Light a Candle for Peace is a song written by Shelley Murley, a Canadian musician, composer, teacher, and parent. My family and I had a lot of fun with the making of this video, and we look forward to more collaborations with the Danforth Jewish Circle, East End United, and our own neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. Enjoy.
Will you sing with us a little bit?
I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing now.
Light a candle for peace, light a candle for love, light a candle that shines all the way around the world. Light a candle for me, light a candle for you, that our wish for world peace will one day come true. Light a candle for peace, light a candle for love, light a candle that shines all the way around the world. Light a candle for me, light a candle for you, that our wish for world peace will one day come true. Sing peace around the world. 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 Light a candle for peace, light a candle for love, light a candle that shines all the way around the world. Light a candle for me, light a candle for you, that our wish for world peace will one day come true.
What do you think, Hazel?
Good.
Good morning and welcome. It's live, oh my goodness. Today, almost all of us live in homes on the traditional lands and territories of the Wendat, the Anishinaabeg, the Mississaugas of the New Credit, and the Haudenosaunee nations. It was Hiawatha, the great peacemaker, who brought together the 5 separate nations that make up the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. The Confederacy was originally made up of Mohawks, Oneidas, Onondagas, Cayugas, and Senecas, and was intended as a way to unite the nations and create a peaceful way of decision-making. Each nation had its own council and its own chiefs, but they came together to decide common issues through a system that may be the oldest continuing democracy on earth. We hope to learn from those ways of being united in the governance of the 3 tribes of the DMC. And we welcome them here today. From the Danforth Jewish Circle, we welcome Rab Miriam Margles. From East End United, we welcome Reverend Dan Benson. And from Neighborhood, we welcome both our minister, the Reverend Wayne Walder, and our music director, Susanne Maziarz. From Home, we welcome Zee Getchell, the facilitator of our Sunday Child and Caregiver program, and we welcome the congregants of all 3 communities. We also have Mike Kosowski doing the Zoom web hosting duties, David Zalakar and Sean Thomas on sound and camera, and we thank all of them. By now, we're all painfully familiar with Zoom etiquette. If you have a tech question or a concern, send a private message to Mike and he'll answer it as soon as he can. We have a wiggle room off to the side of the sanctuary, which families with small children are welcome to use as they desire. It's a place where you can hear but not be heard. It certainly isn't compulsory, it's an option. Another option is that if you're hard of hearing, at the sound desk, there are hearing aids, and you can just go up and ask for one and put them on, and they'll help. We are open to many beliefs and learn from many traditions, and as always, we welcome all people to our religious community. Many of you are visiting us for the first time, and we particularly welcome you and encourage you to stay after service. Our minister or one of us can answer any questions you might have about who we are and what we do here. Our mission at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. Our theme for May is beginnings and endings, and today's focus is spiritual insights. How does one begin on a path that leads to spiritual insight? There's no pill that will give you a lasting spiritual insight, though some of us with roots in the 60s did do a fair amount of personal research on that to try and find one, but that's a different story. People often make the mistake of assuming a teacher must be an expert in what they're teaching. When I was head of a gifted program, people assumed that because my students were gifted, therefore I must be. When I taught world religions, they thought I was a deeply wise person who had deep spiritual insights, and I wasn't. But I did gain 2 insights from that experience that are useful today. Some of my new students believed that all religions hate each other because, they believed, all religions teach that they are right and all other religions are wrong. Religions became like rooting for a hockey team. You chose your team and you hate all the other teams, except for the Toronto Maple Leafs, for whom you feel a deep and abiding pity. But I digress. That religions hate each other, of course, isn't true, and our gathering here is a refutation of that. The other belief was more seductive. Don't all religions really just say the same thing? And the answer there is more complex. There are many clear and significant differences between religions. Some believe that we are alive once, some believe that we come back over and over until we get it right. But there are 2 things that I believe all religions share. One is the belief that you must live your life by the same rules you expect other people to live theirs. Sometimes this is called the golden rule. And all religions teach it in one form or another. There should be a poster appearing at this moment. Mike? The other common factor does start a road to spiritual insight, and it's the belief that there is a power that is outside of us and greater than us. It is beneficent. It wishes us well. That wasn't the poster. Some religions see this power as nameable. They call it God or Jesus or Allah. Some, like Judaism, have names for it, but no vowels, because to name something completely is to affirm you know it, and who could say you completely know a power like that? And in Unitarianism, some of us prefer to leave out both the vowels and the consonants. But I'm reminded here of a lovely conversation I had with Rabbi Michael Lerner when he was last in Toronto, and I asked him what he meant by God. He replied that to him, God is a verb, not a noun. God is the power that moves things from the way they are to the way they should be. That our 3 DMC social action groups have been working together exemplifies how we all believe in aligning with that power. And aligning with the power that makes the world better, whatever name one does or doesn't use for it, is one of the many ways to starting towards spiritual insight. Reverend Wayne will go deeper into this. For now, I leave you with the words of Elizabeth Gilbert. The universe buries strange jewels within us all, and then stands back to see if we can find them. And now it is time to greet our neighbors. Please respect whatever physical distance your neighbor prefers, and after you've greeted a few people, turn to the camera on the back wall and offer a greeting to those who are with us virtually.
Morning, Zee. Hi, Anna.
Good morning, everyone.
Everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Carrie.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. Hi, everyone. Hi, Betty.
Morning to those online.
Hey, Dee. Hi, Susan.
Morning.
Hi, Zee. Hi, John.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Phyllis.
Morning.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Susan.
Hello, Fred.
Hi, Elaine.
Hello.
Ron.
Hello, Zee.
Hello, Bob Martin.
Joan. Hi, Joan.
Hi, Laurie. I'm Spain.
Hi, Barbara.
Good morning.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our opening words, which will appear on various screens. Naomi will do mime sign, and feel free to join in. Let us cast the circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast the circle of a cherished space here. A space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life. A life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. And now for our opening song, it's over to Susanne.
Thanks, Peter. Music unites us across boundaries, and early on in the pandemic, our congregations were looking for ways to connect and to keep singing together, even though we couldn't be together. At that time, Hillary was the music leader at EEU, and we collaborated to find a hymn that was both in Voices United, the United Church hymnal, and singing the Living Tradition, which is the Unitarian Universalist hymnal. and came across My Life Flows On, an endless song, How Can I Keep From Singing? And that just seemed incredibly appropriate as we were going through the dark times of the pandemic to sing that together. So I invite you to rise in spirit and in energy and in love as you're able to sing with me, My Life Flows On in endless song. Words will appear on the screen. Start at A minor. My life flows on in endless song of lovers' lamentation. I hear the real, though far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me blows? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice from far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? Beautiful to sing together. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ask all of the young and young at heart to come and gather on the carpet and look up at the screens because it's time for our Time for All Ages. I'm going to start by offering a special welcome to those who are here from the neighbors in our building, the Danforth Jewish Circle and East End United. It's so good to have you here with us today. So today we're talking about insight. I wonder if any of you have an idea of what insight might be. You can raise your hands and Susanne will give you a microphone to answer if you think you might know. Oh, I can't hear you. That's okay. If no one has an answer, that's all right. I'll tell you how I understand insight. In my favorite game, insight is a skill that the people playing the game can use to see what they can read and understand about a person, thing, or situation. And the better your insight, the more you understand about that person, thing, or situation. And in the real world, insight is pretty similar to that. It's the ability to understand something without really being given information about it specifically. Like earlier, when I had asked what you all thought insight meant. A show of hands from everyone in the congregation, how many of you have heard the word insight before? How many of you have read specifically what it means or been told specifically what it means by someone? Less of you. But how many sort of understood what it was anyway? More of you. That understanding about what insight was is insight. There's a practice that the Quaker religion has that we've done here at Neighborhood in the past about spiritual insight. A group of people will sit together in silence until somebody gets the urge, the feeling wells up to say something. Sometimes it's a single word, sometimes a sentence or two. It can be about life, ways to be a good person, ways to keep going when things are hard, or ways to connect with each other, with the world, and with God. Often they're simple truths, simple understandings about life. Then that person will stand up and say that bit of insight out loud, sharing it with the whole group. I'd like us to practice that for just a couple minutes. So I would like us all to be quiet for a little while. And then if you feel like you have something to share, you can just stand up. Susanne will come to you with the microphone and then we can all hear your insight. The only thing is try not to overlap everybody so that everyone can hear everyone's insights. We'll start that now. Also, if you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand and unmute. One thing I'll share is that all of us being together like this is a really wonderful connection and a really good way to move past the differences that people see between religions. If you're sitting in a chair and you feel like you have something to add, don't feel shy, you can stand up too.
If God is a verb, then I think God is here.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
We can root in belonging.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
If God is love and all things are God, how can I look through the eyes of love with what's being offered to me?
An excellent question. Thank you.
Everyone on earth is doing exactly what they need to be doing to help you achieve enlightenment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
That love melts barriers.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
What we need comes to us in packages we may not recognize.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
If all religions have the central idea of learning and being and acting out of love, the first way that we can learn to do that is to really understand our body and what we're feeling moment to moment, because then we can transcend some of the other stuff.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Anna, I'm going to ask you to go while Suzanne's moving to the next person.
I don't know what I don't know. And am I okay with that?
Beautiful. Thank you.
If we could come to a place where we all share what the earth has that we need equally, we would also be able to share those times when the earth is not providing everything we need equally.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
I'm going to put myself together, and nice to see you guys. On behalf of Malcolm Spencer, I missed him. And thank you guys for opening you guys to the, this is my first time here, but I'm going to keep in mind that you're open, and I'm going to try to be more understanding and understand the world to be a better place for all of us. And also, I want to live a longer life. I'm going to try my best. I want to say thank you guys very much, and God bless.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank everyone who's shared, and I also want to thank everyone else who has listened and absorbed this wisdom and insight today. So that was our time for All Ages today. Moira will take you into the side room now for the weekly program. Thank you for listening and sharing.
It's a very special time. We call this a time of joys and concerns, where we share our joys and concerns. Some of us will know this as prayers of the people. My friends, for the joys, for the concerns, for the prayers that have lingered on our lips, perhaps dwelt silently in our hearts, or lay so deeply hidden within us that we ourselves are hardly aware of them, we light this last candle. May the light of these candles, brief but vital glimmers in the darkness, carry our joys, our concerns, and our prayers into the world. Even though these candles may flicker and gutter, even though the candles may be extinguished at the end of our time together, the words we have spoken, the prayers that we have prayed, the joys and concerns that have been raised will endure. They are eternal echoes of a faithful and a faith-filled people. And together we can say, Amen.
I'm so honored to be with you today, to hold these beautiful, moving prayers and concerns and joys, and to lead us into a meditation together. I want to share a Hebrew prayer with you. The words in Hebrew are Elohai Neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai, my God, my divine one. Neshama, which in Hebrew means my soul, but is connected also to the word neshima, breath. My God, this soul breath, shenatata bi, that you have gifted to me, given to me, tehorahi, it is pure, it is radiant in every single one of us. And I want to teach you a melody for it to carry us into meditation. I'll sing a little bit and I'll invite you to echo after me. And I invite you to try the Hebrew words. And it's okay if you don't get them right. It's just as beautiful if you lean into the vowels, the sounds, and bring your voice in any way you can. Elohai, just try that. Elohai, oh yes. Elohai neshama, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, shenatata bi, tehorahi, tehorahi, Elohai neshama, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, shenatata bi, tehorahi, tehorahi. Let's sing it together a few times as we feel our life breath, soul breath moving within us. Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi. Take a few deep breaths. Allowing the sacred space of the body to invite in sacred breath. To let our awareness align with the movement of breath in the body. To notice that you're breathing. Perhaps to touch that noticing with surprise. Another breath? And another? Can you touch this texture of breathing with gratitude? We get to notice that we don't need to do anything to deserve the next breath. All we have to do is receive it. What can you soften within to be able to receive the next breath just a little more generously? One of the core spiritual teachings of my tradition of Judaism, which is shared by so many traditions and practices, is a deep understanding and insight that human and divine are not separate. Human and divine are not separate. Genesis offers a beautiful image of God, of the divine, creating the human being from the dust of the earth, from Adamah. In Hebrew, we're called Adam, human, from Adamah, from earth. And then the divine breathed into the nostrils of the human, Nishmat Chaim, the breath of life. Sacred divine breath. I hold this as an inspiring origin story, but even more so, a truth of every breath, that we are breathed by the sacred breath of all life. And what a gift that we can bring our awareness to meet it so sweetly. I invite you to bring your attention to the moment in your own body when the exhalation is emptied out and the next breath begins. And watch as the breath unfurls through your body and shifts from the inhalation to the emptying out exhalation. And again touches into a new moment of emptiness, allowing breath in again. I invite you not to effort, not to pull in the next breath, but to be soft enough, available enough, simply to receive it. Wondrously, mysteriously to receive Nishmat Chaim, the breath of life. Can you let this place within be sacred home? A sanctuary to return to over and over. Can you allow this place of life breath within to be a refuge in the midst of any challenges or pain in the world? A refuge to return to over and over. Can you bring into your awareness the others in this community today, breathing together, sharing this precious and vibrant life breath? Can you hold in your awareness all beings breathing together, sharing this sacred life breath? Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. My dear Divine One, this soul breath you have placed within me is radiant and pure. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. 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 tabi teho rai Elohai neshama shenata 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 tabi teho rai. May we be blessed to come home to the divine within us and the divine all around us, over and over. Amen.
You know, since people have been people, we've been trying to figure out how to live a good life. And one of the ways we've discovered, I believe, is by using something called spirituality. And if I was to describe spirituality, it would be the practice of learning how to grow and deepen an awareness of ourselves within the world around us. It's a pretty big definition. Our humankind, no matter what culture, no matter what religion, or even ancestry, have learned often through trial and error, awareness practices that have helped us reflect who we are and what we're doing in the world. Spirituality is about awareness. And awareness practices aren't specific to spirituality or religion. Just imagine the awareness used in science, in experiments, or in art and music, finding harmony in sound and color. In geopolitics, as we try to understand equity. All of this takes a significant amount of awareness. So it stands to reason that awareness itself is a skill we all can use. Most of the time, though, we don't reveal our awareness or our insight to others. Even though spiritual insights and heightened awareness is a common human experience, I think that we fear that if we speak about our insights and our greater awareness, we would sound silly or worse. Even I'm careful about revealing insights, and that's part of my job. I wonder if people will think something different from what I'm saying. So today I hope we would stretch past our fears and reveal some insight you've had. I hope you'll tell us a little story. We only have time for a couple each time. I have 3 areas that you might consider having an insight or awareness and telling us a story. And the first one is the difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is being apart, and solitude is being profoundly connected, even if you're alone. Being alone can mean we are connected to some of the deepest awarenesses we can imagine. And it's been written about for a long time. Henry David Thoreau, I don't know if you can stick that up on the screen, writes, "I've never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude." And Mark, the cryptic writer in the New Testament, tells us, "Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest for a while." We require such solitude as we need ourselves. How about it? Anybody have an insight about solitude that they'd be willing to share? Yeah.
I was so lonely in my first 2 marriages at times, and now the kids are gone, the husbands are gone, and I freaking love solitude.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I often suffer from loneliness and very rarely enjoy solitude. And yesterday I had the whole day to myself, and it wasn't all solitude, but there was a moment of profound enjoyment and pleasure. And I realized, oh, that's solitude. And it makes me want more.
It does. Maybe one more if someone has an experience of solitude.
I have a mic too. Just to say, I feel myself as an extension of nature. So even when I'm alone, I'm surrounded by my relatives and ancestors in the form of plants and animals and birds and insects.
Thank you. A second milestone in a human life, especially a life of awareness and insight, is gratitude. It is saying thank you, of course, but also feeling like you're glad to be alive, glad to help, glad to share, gracious in offering kindness. Gratitude is simply not saying thank you, it's feeling it in your body. Thankfulness. I bet you felt this many times in your lives. You must have felt it in nature, at the birth of a child, even at the death of a loved one. A gratitude to have known them, to have been part of them. When we're filled with gratitude, our ego seems to take a back seat and we can act unselfishly. Have you had an experience of gratitude you'd share? Yeah.
I was so grateful to have Kurt with me when I was sick this week.
I have incredibly deep gratitude for Helen Armstrong for introducing me to this amazing community and this really lovely man named Wayne Walder.
You know, if you looked, the deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated. Mike, could you put that back up? And gratitude isn't a burdening emotion. Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. And if you concentrate on finding whatever is good in every situation, you'll discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul. And this last milestone, spiritual milestone of awareness that I'd ask of you, so you'd share it with us, because that's how we learn, is can you choose your thoughts? I mean, can you direct your inner dialogue? Can you ask yourself, what would I like to think now? You know, we don't have to follow the patterns of our busy mind. We don't have to follow our anxiety or our planning or our judgment or our guilt. We don't. We do not have to follow errant thoughts of fear, past pain or worry. We can choose what we would like to think. For example, I might say to myself, How can I thank these people for 20 years of ministry and then let my mind try to figure out how to do that? It sets into motion my clever mind, and like a wonderful helper, it begins to consider how I might be thankful. I could just as easily have been worrying about some trivial encounter I had yesterday. We might choose to think about something, the pleasure of making a meal, but we could also decide how to wonder about how we can be sorry to someone. We might choose to ask ourselves how we might write a poem describing one of these wonderful spring mornings. No one else has to see it. We might ask ourselves how we can best heal from the slings and arrows of those outrageous fortunes. We can choose what we think rather than the often confused, random, or fearful thoughts. Amy Winehouse writes, "Life's short. Anything could happen, and it usually does, so there's no point in sitting around thinking about the ifs, ands, and buts." And James Douglas talks about how the thoughts are like living blossoms born by our humanity. How about it? Anybody have a time when you chose what to think? Kurt, are you standing to speak? Here.
Yes, this is actually something I learned from you, Wayne, a couple years ago at the Silent Retreat. I have, for those of you that know me, I have a very, very chaotic mind and not controlling what thoughts come in and out of my head. So instead of just trying to force thoughts into being silent to try to meditate, to make an effort to meditate, I've learned how to row the boat between the stream of the thoughts and just acknowledge the thoughts and then move through the silence when I can.
Thank you.
Related to my concern that I expressed this morning, my first reaction to my fall and my injury was, oh no, I'll lose my happy place. What will I do? And I know that aging is about loss, actually. But then this morning, I was sitting around playing my guitar a little bit, and I've been doing that a lot during the pandemic. And I realized, oh, that could be my new happy place.
Yeah?
For me, the practice is about asking life-giving questions and then just waiting for the first thing that comes. And I discovered this first when I was very depressed, and I began to light a candle at the end of the day and to ask what made life worth living today. And I would wait for the first thing. And it was very small gestures of kindness, and it brought me into that first insight of gratitude. Thank you.
Maybe we have time for maybe one more or two more. Anybody on this side? We're trying to get people who haven't spoken yet. So you've spoken once, so let me see if I can find someone else. Anyone else?
Wayne, I see that Deb
Yeah.
has her hand.
I'm just recently and sort of renewed again trying to look at my privilege and think in terms of my privilege as I try to work alongside other people and make that privilege smaller. It's a very difficult thing to do, but I'm trying to do it.
Thank you. Have you chosen how to think?
I was watching a friend of mine minister to another friend yesterday, doing something that I couldn't do. She was cutting her nails because she couldn't cut them herself. And I thought, that's something I couldn't do, but I'm so grateful to have a friend like that who could.
Thank you. You know, greater awareness is a wonderful thing. And I hope you'll all, each time life gives you a little bit of a difficulty, you'll look at it again and think about a way that you can respond differently. Thank you for listening.
Now it's time for the offertory. I ask the greeters to come up and take the baskets. Sharing of ourselves is part of every faith. Volunteer efforts are certainly essential, but salaries are paid and programs are created by your contributions. Needing congregational support to keep our communities afloat is another thing that all three members of the DMC share. Baskets will be passed while Susanne plays. If you're online, please use one of the three links that will be displayed in the chat screen, which leads to your respective donation page. You are, of course, welcome to use 2 or 3 of the links and contribute to all. And your generosity is, as always, deeply appreciated.
How good it is and how pleasant for people to dwell together in peace.
If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found a home here, if you've known kindred spirits here, then this offering is a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good. I ask Nancy to come up and extinguish the chalice. Sorry, I ask Susanne for the closing hymn song. My apologies.
Thanks, Peter. Our closing song today is going to be a new one for everyone. I just recently learned it thanks to our member Natalie, who introduced me to it. This is a song from Thich Nhat Hanh's Plum Village, and it was written by a sister nun that studied with him for over 40 years. And I wanted to introduce it to our congregation as we say goodbye to our minister. It's a song of goodbye. That we learn it today. We'll sing it on Saturday to close our retirement evening, and we'll close it to close the service next Sunday as well. Could we rise, please, if you're willing and able to sing with me? I'll teach it to you phrase by phrase. We'll sing it a few times, and we're going to build it up each time we sing it. So it goes. No coming, no going. No coming, no going. No after, no before. No after, no before. I hold you close to me. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free. I release you to be so free. Because I am with you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me. The second time the me goes down instead of up. Let's just sing it a few times together, get familiar with it. Maybe we'll do it 3 times, everyone. It starts here. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free. Because I am in you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free. Because I am in you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me. Last time. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free. Because I am in you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me.
Thank you, Susanne. And now I ask Nancy up to extinguish the chalice and join with Susanne as we sing.
Although our chalice has been darkened, we hold the fire within our own hearts.
So can I leave you with a blessing? May the deep peace of strangers and friends be with you. And may the lovely midday of spring be with you. May the deep peace of the twilight be with you. And may the stars be with you. And the air, the breeze, the flowers with you. And may you sleep the sleep of dreams that make you whole. Let that be with you. And thankfulness to you. We have a way of saying goodbye. We used to hold hands, but maybe you can just kind of get close or look at each other and say Namaste. It just means I say hello to the spirit in you.
Namaste.